what's up guys, Sam from T-sportline here, and today I'm going to be showing you about our user interface for our brand new CP9 screen with flow-through HVAC. In this video, I'll talk you through the user interface of our CP9 as well as how to get your phone connected with Apple CarPlay or Android Auto and your audio routed through the Tesla speakers. If you haven't installed your screen yet, take a step back and watch our install video here. So this screen is for the current gen Model Y, so 2024 and before, as well as the Model 3 before the 2024 model, so before that refresh happened. Right off the bat, if we look up here in the top left corner, we have kind of like dash icons here. So I'm currently not wearing a seatbelt and it's showing that I'm not wearing a seatbelt. If we go into our menu and we turn on our headlights, for example, you can see the icons for the headlights have shown up. So it just has a lot of vehicle information right over there. If we keep moving down, we see we have the time as well as the temperature in that bottom left corner. We have our trip meter as well as our odometer. We have the battery percentage. We have the park, reverse, neutral, and drive gear select over here. We have our speedometer, and then we have an icon of our car, which as we saw earlier, actually shows you when doors and other things are open. So moving into some of the settings and customization here, if we swipe over to the left, we can actually open up this little settings icon, which displays this menu that shows us all kinds of settings for the entire screen. So we've got our language select, our time format, 12 hours or 24 hours. We've got AHD for if you want to plug in a third-party front bumper camera. We've got the steering wheel controls, we've got our tire pressure unit, and our time zone. If we click down into display, you'll see that we actually have a select over the car color. We've got the car model between Model 3 and Model Y. We've got the appearance. We've got auto, which like the Tesla will go between light mode and dark mode depending on what time it is, or you can select always bright or always dark. We've got our temperature unit between Celsius and Fahrenheit, Rainbow Road, which is a popular Tesla feature as well. And then we have our brightness, we can set to auto or to manual. If we click down into the software menu, we actually are able to connect to Wi-Fi and check for over-the-air updates, just like we do on our Tesla, so that we have firmware updates directly to the screen over Wi-Fi. And speaking of Wi-Fi, if we actually click over into this wireless menu, you'll see this setup button down here that gives us access to connect to Wi-Fi for those over-the-air updates. We've also got our connection mode between CarPlay or Android Auto. We've got our audio modes, HUD being the audio coming straight from the screen, and phone using your phone's Bluetooth connection to make the audio come through the Tesla speakers themselves. And then our speed limit between kilometers per hour or miles per hour. Taking a look at our steering wheel controls for just a second, our left scroll wheel is going to be used for volume, as the volume is routed from our phone to the screen and over to the Tesla speakers. This will still control the volume for all of that. And on the right side, if we scroll down, that's how we switched between the instrument cluster over to our CarPlay screen. And then if we scroll up, that's if you decided to plug in that third-party camera that we mentioned earlier. Back out on our instrument cluster here, if we swipe from the left again, we can click on our little map icon, and we'll see that we have our CarPlay connections. Now we can switch between CarPlay or Android Auto, but I'll show you guys CarPlay first. So if we see it says CarPlay connection and it's showing us the name of the device right here. So now we go over to our phone, and we should see BT Link 4AF3, which is our screen. So we'll go ahead and connect there. And it shows that I'm connected now on my phone. And now it pops up connect to CarPlay. I'm gonna allow that. And now we see that it's set up on the CarPlay screen as well, and it's showing everything from my phone right there. So looking at our CarPlay home screen here, we see we have all of our apps here in the middle, as well as our most recently used apps over here on the left-hand side. So if we click into, let's say, Spotify for now, and we start playing a song, we notice that it's actually not playing through the car. It's just playing through the HUD on the screen itself. So we need to go ahead and fix that by pairing our phone with the car, which for most of you, it would already be set up as your phone key and probably paired to your car anyway, but we're just gonna pretend like we need to set that up from scratch now so that I can show you guys how to do it. So to get our screen audio to route through our Tesla speakers, we're gonna start by clicking our Bluetooth icon down here on the car, connect phone, and we're gonna say start search. Our phone pops up here. We'll click it to add, adding device, give it just a second. And as long as the numbers match, we'll click pair over on our phone. You can allow or not allow your contacts. Either way, our phone's connecting, and now we are connected. So now if we move back over to the screen and we hit play, we notice that our music is now perfectly playing through the Tesla speakers. And this carries over not just from Spotify, but also for our phone calls or our map navigation audio or any audio coming from our phone through CarPlay. So looking at some of the other apps inside of CarPlay, you've obviously got your maps. I'm a fan of Google Maps myself. We can also use Apple Maps though. So we'll go into Apple Maps and say search. We can scroll through just like normal and pick out wherever we need to go. So that'll route us. We click go. And you have your navigation right in front of you without even having to look to the side or look away from the road almost at all. And as you can see while we're driving here, I actually don't really even have to look away from the road at all since it's right underneath the steering wheel, kind of like a traditional car would be, to be able to get this information like maps and speedometer and things like that. And while we're actually driving, if you see in the right side, we actually still have that instrument cluster show as we're driving in addition to the maps. So it's a pretty cool feature that you get a lot of vehicle information as well as your classic Google Maps, Waze, Apple Maps, whatever you prefer to navigate with instead of using the Tesla navigation. All right, so now that we've seen how to connect to Apple CarPlay, let's switch over to Android Auto. So first we want to make sure by swiping over to the left, clicking our little settings gear wheel, we'll click on wireless. We want to set this connection mode over to Android Auto off of CarPlay. The system will restart and allow it to reboot. All right, so now that we've rebooted, we can either swipe over here and click on our map, or we can use our steering wheel controls like we talked about before. So looking at our phone, we see BT Link 4AF3, which matches on the screen. We'll click pair again, allow or deny access to contacts, and now you can see Android Auto is set up over on the screen. So over on the screen, we'll click OK, continue. This will bring up our main Android Auto hub. So if we'll click down in the bottom left-hand corner, we can see all of our apps and everything just like we would on our phone. Now to get our audio routed through the Tesla speakers, we'll do it the same way that we did with the CarPlay. We'll start by clicking the Bluetooth on the car, connect phone, add new device, and start our search. Click pair new device on our Android. Click Pixel 6 or whatever phone shows up for you. Click pair over on our phone. And just like that, we're connected to the car now. So now any audio that comes out of our speaker plays through our car. And so it's just as easy as that. It's a super easy setup and allows us to have a ton of information, including our maps and our music, right in front of us instead of having to look off to the right for it. All right, so that wraps up our overview of the user interface on our new CP9 screen with CarPlay and Android Auto for the Model 3 and Model Y. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let us know what you think down below. Leave a like on the video. See you in the next one.